Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of Spectrum of the Arts. Today we're going to spend some time in South County. Then we're going to take a trip north to Tarpon Springs as we continue our look at some of the amazing things going on in Pinellas County schools. Community projects, a common theme among many schools in Pinellas County these days. At Boca Ciega High School, art teacher Kevin Olis and his students are rolling out some outstanding projects, utilizing a concept that will last long beyond the tenure of those who worked on them.
Whenever my students finish early on a project that they're doing individually, they come over and they'll work on one of our community creations. We have these large pieces constantly going on. I actually have 3 in my room right now in progress. This particular piece, I have students come over. Every one of these little animals was made by a different student. So I'll come over and I'll tell them to add an animal to our sculpture or to our community project. It got started because I wanted my classrooms to start experiencing co-creating together. I mean, I think the spirit of creation is good, but I think that ultimately I want them to experience what it's like to work together, to co-create together. This is another community project where when the students finished early, I gave them a section of this. They actually didn't even know what this was going to be until we assembled all the pieces. Boca Ciega is the home of the Pirates. That's our mascot. So all of these community projects so far have been pirate themed. This is a culmination of about 5 or 6 kids working on this. One is doing the tail, another one is carving the rocks. They begin to highlight. Again, we use that spray foam insulation, foam, and then we can carve it and paint it to look like rock. We experimented with abstract art on this piece, pop art on this piece, and then romanticism on this piece where we tried to capture action. This is another one of our community creations that we did earlier this year. And we basically did all of the ceramic carving. We made it out of clay first, fired it, and then glazed it. It's going to be a new sign. We were recently accredited of becoming an ADVID school and a national demonstration school, so we're very proud of that, and we wanted to show that on the front of our school. We turned it over, our community project, to the industrial arts department here at our school and our technology department. So they are doing the grouting and they built us a really nice frame.
The award of a grant provided the final link to one of the school's most ambitious undertakings, a mammoth wall sculpture that is now on display in the Boca Ciega cafeteria.
I began experimenting with plaster and how they had to cast each other. So I set this out to be a project in portrait art, where they were molding each other's arms and legs, and then we put it together to form an ultimate portrait of our class, or in this case, of our school.
They wanted me to model the basketball player because I am a long individual and he got long legs, right? So just like Michael Jordan, so they told me to pose just like Michael Jordan, hands in the air like this, even though they only use my legs.
It was just a great experience altogether, becoming friends with everybody. There's a cord on his left shoulder, which usually signifies being part of something that's like extracurricular in ROTC, and we put him in the holding salute stance so that, because the salute's like a big part of it.
So I worked on the pirate. I worked specifically on the shirt and the vest and creating the shape of that. My favorite part was, getting to work with a new medium, but also getting to work with a community of fellow artists, and it was a really wonderful experience.
We got a sponsorship from Suncoast Credit Union for the entire grant, and I just proposed that I'd like to do a community project and allow my students to experience a group piece of art. And we're very grateful for programs like that that allow us to fund these special projects that extend beyond the classroom. We actually conceived it. We chose out certain poses, certain representations we wanted to make from Boca Ciega, and then, when the grant came, the product came. And we cast the molds on the first days. We made torsos and faces the second, and then we detailed and embellished it on the 3rd. So it was 3 days and about 300 kids. So you figure how much can 300 kids do in 3 days, and it's something that will last forever. So it was a special 3 days, undoubtedly. Part of us being, willing to do this excellent program of Spectrum of the Arts is that we let the community know that we're grateful, and that our teachers also learn to know that these grants are available and these community projects are valuable parts of our curriculum. I think part of my job as a teacher is not just to teach art, but to teach creativity. I want my students to leave here and be creative. We're a medical magnet school. Most 1/3 of our school is tracking medical careers. I'm not creating artists, but I am creating creators. And if I get them to think creatively, then, how great is our medical industry going to be in the future when people look beyond the petri dishes?
Our thanks to Kevin Olis and his students, and special thanks for providing us with the work in progress video.